Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm still playing 1841. Well, my last video went a little off the rails, as one viewer said. It was just, I don't know, I mean, there was so much going on, and for some, maybe I went into too much detail, so in the end it ended up with more than 2 hours. So I tried to do it a little, maybe with a little less detail and maybe a little faster. Let's see. But on the other hand, I wanna show you all the decisions you can make in these games, and many of them are really important. Okay, so we go to the second and last operating round of this cycle of operating rounds. The first 5 trains has fallen during the last operating round, and during the last stock rounds, 2 new companies were started. The Latina, sitting here, the green one, and the Sabauda, the yellow one over here. And the idea was possibly to work a little bit together so that they can get a nice track. Problem is now that there is phase 5, only 1 tile per company can be laid. So now track building will take definitely longer. And especially these guys now, it will take them a while until they can connect to some of the more interesting areas, maybe here, or probably even more down here. Then we had the Ferdinandian Succession, which started the Veneta and the Lombarda. And we had the Tuscanian merger, which started the Livornese. And these guys are in trouble because they had 3 trains, but they were now all destroyed by the 5 train, and there's only 300, well, about 400 bucks in there, and a few shares, 2 shares. But we need now some kind of emergency money raising here, and this guy is absolutely hosed. This guy is also in a lot of trouble simply because he started a company here. It looked promising at first, but now already for a few operating rounds it is completely stuck because these guys basically work together to cut him off, don't give him entrance to Milano, and therefore he sits there and basically can't do anything. He has a 110 run at least because of the port here, which is pretty valuable, but overall this is simply disappointing, and there is nearly no money in there, and because the corporation doesn't do good runs, nobody is willing to invest in it. So that he could end up in trouble pretty soon too. I'm pretty sure this guy is clearly in the lead now. He seems to be the dominating player at the moment. He has these 3 companies, all with a train, 1 5 train. In here, if he swallows now, there is enough money to buy us another 5 train, and the others will probably be able to merge pretty soon, and then yes, he's fine for now. The 5 trains will be killed when the 8 trains come out, I think. Wait a minute. Yeah, they come out. So I'm pretty sure they will run a bit. So he doesn't have to be too concerned about the situation here. On the long run, though, there's not enough money in this company to really get him a strong train. I mean, sooner he will have to buy an 8 train at some point, but he then may either merge with another company to get additional money, or I don't know, come up with some idea. So the Genovese started it, the blue company here, the dark blue one, and they could now upgrade Milano to 150 city. This is the first brown track now sitting here on the board. And yeah, of course, this is a very valuable space. And they can they want to make a run. They got a 4 run here. So that's going to be 70 here. That's 80. That's 110. 260. That is 300. Awesome. And he's going to swallow. That's the idea. He will swallow at that point. It hurts a little, but if he does it now, he will be able to buy himself a 5 train. Okay. So these are 600, 50 bucks gone back. So he buys himself this second 5 train here. And now he can hit Milan twice. And he can also go to Marseille. Sadly, there is not quite enough there to hook Marseille up. So I think he actually will sell a share. This one, possibly, because these guys will not operate in the next turn. Or yeah, in this turn, and they are also not in a great position. First it looked pretty promising. Now it seems when they only can place a single tile, it seems like this could take a while until they make money. So I might as well sell that share, and that then gives me 129 bucks. So in the next turn, I will then have the option to bust here through the mountains, and I'm pretty sure with a 5 train, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, that's just amazing. With a 5 train I can go from Marseille to Milan, and then with the 4 train I can go from Milan to Turin. Turin will be probably upgraded to a 90 space, so that means I can hit Turin twice, I can hit Milan twice. Marseille is now worth 100, will be pretty soon worth 150. So with these 2 trains I can make a lot of money, and I think it's worth to invest in that 5 train. If I swallow once, I might then get back. If I swallow once more later in the game, I'm pretty sure I can get a lot of money from one of these runs. Will be something like, we're talking 300. This thing here, I can hit that twice. There's another 200, so it's 500, 600, a few bucks in between. So that would be a 700 run or so. So if I swallow once, I can nearly afford one of these trains here then. Okay, I'm pretty good in a good shape. That's for sure. Maybe it's going to be a 7 train. We'll see. But I'm doing fine. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of people swallowing simply because there's only one 5 train left. And if the first 6 train comes, then... Wait a minute. No, the 4 trains go away when the first 7 train comes. So there is a little time left. This guy upgraded now Genoa, hoping to either go to Marseille or what would be even better, to somehow connect to the southern area here, then he can have a good run. Then he can be quite powerful. But we'll see how this turns out. I can see some problems coming up there. So here's an interesting situation. We got this guy here, and he wants to go here. We got the green and the yellow guy, and they want to go here. So they both want to hook up with this area. Okay, fine. Now the problem is, if the white guy places a dot here, then basically one other person also has to place a dot there to ensure access to this network here. And these guys don't want to do it because they want to work together. That was their deal, more or less, right? So, and he will be actually late anyway. If only one of them tries to go down, for example, the green one, he has to upgrade this thing, then he has to go here, and he has to go here. So it will take him now 3 turns. This guy only needs 2 turns to get there. So if the white player places a dot here, then this guy will be before these two, and he can also place a dot there, and then these two are host. So that is a threat for both of them. The other option would be now, if the white guy places a dot here and they work together, they can make it first to go here, and then one of them can place a dot here. In this way, this guy will not be able to enter, and both of them still have access to go to Rome, which gives a lot of money. Of course, the problem is one person will have a privilege because they can be here, and then they can even run a better run. But, you know, in the end, I think they both will profit from the fact that they have access to the southern part. If it be just Rome with $200, then if this guy and this guy blocks them out. And of course it is possible that the white guy doesn't place a dot, but then they have to rely on this. And that's something they don't want to. So therefore they have to make sure they can reach, I think this is Pisa, they can reach that before him, and to get there they have to work together. So therefore they will upgrade Bologna, and then, because now the first player is the yellow player, then the green player will go, yeah, probably here, and then the yellow player can place a tile here, place a token there, and then both have access to this area here. So the Latina bought the last 5 train here. Over here they laid track here, so in the next one more track lay and they can connect to this southern area, and then they can make a lot of money. And that's bad news, of course, for the president of the Livornese, because, yeah, he's got to buy himself now a train, and there's not enough money in the bank. So he did upgrade Firenze, and now he's got to buy a train. Now, I mean, he could ask if somebody's willing to sell a train. One of these 4 trains, for example, over here. But will that be a solution? Probably not. I mean, sooner or later, when the 4 trains go away, when the 7 trains come, he then has to do another emergency money raising, and that will be even more expensive. So once he has now a 6th train, at least then he has a permanent train. But yeah, he will be in a lot of trouble. So let's see how much money we have in here. Well, these are 300 bucks. Let's exchange that. And these are 25. Okay, so these are 400. Okay, yeah, that's $3. Now he's going to start selling these shares, and he should have been clever, and he should have sold them before. But the thing is, you sell the shares after the train purchase. So the point is now that he has to sell them for half the price, and that sucks. That sucks a lot because he's losing a lot of money there. Well, he's losing 95 bucks. So he will now sell these 2 shares. The bad thing is he holds another share himself, but the price will drop now, so he will lose even more money here. So he's gonna sell these shares, 2 of them, they will drop, and that gives him 95 bucks. There we go. Okay. Now the company is gone, basically. All their assets are now converted into money, and now he's got to start selling shares. At that point, he can sell shares to an extent that it would be, which would usually be forbidden. So he can sell, for example, shares to a point that there would be more than 60% of a company in the bank pool. He could also sell the presidency except from other companies. I think so. Let me check that quick. There we go. I'm not sure. Maybe not. That's actually correct. They can sell basically any number of shares in there without any restrictions, except that the presidency of the operating company may not change. But he could sell presidencies of other companies even in the bank pool, and then these would be freezed companies. Okay, so another problem is that, and here I'm really not sure, the rules say he gets half the price for all the shares he sells, for all his private shares, except for the shares of the operating company, where he would get half the price. And that's exactly what the rules say. They say basically half the price here, but there is an exception, you get only half the price here. So what does that mean? That there is definitely something wrong with the rules here. Does that mean he gets the full price here, but there is an exception, he gets half the price here, and the first half the price was a misprint? I don't know that. I'm going to play it in a way that because you get half the price if you sell these shares here, you get half the price if you sell shares of the initial offering, you get half the price if you sell the shares of the operating company, so I'm going to give him also half the price of the others. That is just a straight rule, and yeah, I find that the rule book isn't clear about that at all. So I'm gonna sell everything here for only half the price, and we'll see what is left at the end. He's gonna hold on to these shares because once he gets a train for the company, it's gonna make a good amount of money, because then you got a 6th train running here. The company has the company will have a permanent train, so then it's a fine company. But right now, he's in a ton of trouble. So we'll see what we get there. It's terrible for him. He's really bankrupt. He only he only holds the presidency of this one, and yeah, he just can't do it. If this guy would have had another share of the Livornese, he would not have been allowed to sell that share, and then he would have been bankrupt, because the presidency may not change. But because nobody holds more than 20%, he can sell these 2 shares and of course all the other shares he had, and that gives him enough money to buy another train. He managed to get 300. That's really not a lot. If you go bankrupt here, you know, because all your share value is halved, it is so painful. So he managed to end up with $330 here. But of course, he lost nearly double the share value. He had about $50 in cash or something, maybe 60. So he lost about $300 in share value or something. That was really painful. And now he's got the money. If he combines this, okay, let's see, this is 1, 2, this is 700, right? Yeah, that's 700 and another 100. So that's 800. So that means he remains with about $35 or something. And the presidency of the Livornese. Basically, I mean, he's out of the game now, more or less. He cannot win that anymore, that's for sure. And I mean, maybe he can still compete with this guy for the last place, because he is gonna get into trouble too. I'm pretty sure about that. And he's now sitting at least on a company with a permanent train. The problem is, he won't be able to hold that company. Someone else will buy him out with 20%, and he simply doesn't have the money to defend the presidency. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, probably this guy, he will buy the company away from him, and yeah, then he sits on 2 shares and $30. That's great. That's just great. At least these shares couldn't drop any further because they were already at the bottom. The SFTN value dropped to 63 thanks to this money raising thing. So that of course also pissed this guy off pretty hard. Okay. Well, actually, I think because he didn't pay out, this thing should have moved here, and then it could have dropped down to here. So actually, the share value dropped from 106 to 76. And it also means that he actually doesn't get quite that much money. He had to sell 2, so he loses $22. Oh boy. Because, yeah, they were sitting here, they didn't pay out, they went here. So then he sold these 2. Oh God, let me calculate this through. He doesn't lose quite that much because he sold it for only half the price. So instead for 53, no, 106 for both shares, yeah, he simply gets 95. So basically he loses $11. So that's what he had. So he's got to pay 11. Oh boy, 25. I didn't mess this up. I might have maybe lost a few less. I don't know. I think he's sitting at about $22 right now. And these crappy shares. So, yeah, as I said, total disaster for this poor guy. And it was very, very close, you know, yeah, it was only because of these specific merger rules that he in the end ended up with the presidency. I think the fact that the Garibaldi was more worth than this other, the white company that was operating, that made him the president. Otherwise, this guy would have been the president. But okay, such is life. It also means that we are now in phase 6 of this game. And now the highest, the black values, count for the boxes. So there's a lot of money now in these off-map boxes. Each minor corporation is limited to 1 train, and each major corporation is limited to 2 trains. And we got to remember, when the 7th train comes out, the first one, and there is only one 6th train left in here. When the first 7th train is purchased, then all the 4 trains will go away. And that will bring some players into deep, deep trouble. Into a ton of trouble. So we might see some changes, some real problems for some people pretty soon. We're going to see about that. So, as to be expected, Torino was upgraded by the Novarese, and then they get the opportunity, and of course they will, to place a token in Milano. There we go. They cannot run, so they will drop. And they have to buy a train, and they just can. It is really close, but they do have the money. They are happy, of course, now that they can get the first, or that they can get themselves a permanent train. Otherwise, they would have been in trouble. But in this way, they're actually doing fantastic. They just have the money to get themselves a permanent train. And do they? I'm not even sure. Maybe this guy has to... He might have to sell it. We'll see about that. Okay, that's 750. It's not quite enough. 775. Okay, that's 779 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that means $21 has to come from this guy. But he does have that. And now he should be okay. Yeah. Awesome. He is. That was really close, but in the end it's good enough to get themselves a permanent train. And yeah, that's basically perfect now. I mean, it's a little sad that they don't have any money at all in here. It's never good to have no money at all. But, you know, if you want to lay track sometimes on a mountain or something. But, okay, I mean, they made this deal that the Genovese will bust through here. And then... they are in a good shape, and they probably won't need to lay track. And you don't need money to place tokens in this game, because you pay for your tokens at the beginning. And it's interesting how quick the trains go away here now. And now, of course, a few people are starting to become a little nervous, because when the 7 train comes out, the 4 trains will go away. If that happens... that means I guess it will probably mean bankruptcy for this guy. Pretty sure about that. If he can somehow manage to get, if someone would buy these shares, things would not be so terrible, you know. The share value is 144 at the moment. 4 of those, well, they give him, I don't know, $600 or something. It still sucks. Yeah, it still would be quite terrible with the money in here, 700. But okay, it would be $400. I'm pretty sure somehow he might, it's going to be very close, but he might be able to raise the $400 here. I think it's going to be very close, but I think he just can do it. He will be then pretty much in the same shape as this guy. So these two guys, they can actually really compete for the last for the last position in this game. This guy is also in problems, in trouble. There is not a lot of money in there, just $50, but there are a lot of shares in there, and they are worth quite a bit. 129. But I mean, it's an interesting point. Are people willing to invest in this sucker? Or do they say, you know what, you can see yourself how you get money in there. He only holds 30%, so he's allowed to buy another 30. And yeah, that would then bring in 129, about $400 in the company. But that is by far not enough to get another train. He needs help from other people, and why should they help him, right? There are not many people out there who have a lot of money, so why would people say, hey, I want to help you out here? It's kind of unlikely. This guy might do it. Maybe they come to an agreement. If they say, hey, I buy your shares, if you buy mine, then we might come to an agreement here. And maybe we see some kind of deals of that kind, because, yeah, as I said, these guys are really in trouble. He's, for now, fine. They can merge, they can run the 5 trains, but not forever. Okay, but we see 2 trains here. So, I mean, someone has to buy that first 7 train. Who will that be? Well, the only person who has a lot of money at the moment is actually this guy. He's got $450. But obviously that is also not enough to buy a 7 train. So I think for now, it seems that everybody is kind of safe. Nobody can afford. If he swallows, yeah, I think nobody can afford at the moment to actually buy himself a 7 train. So yeah, for now, people are more or less safe. So the Veneta now made the connection here. So now a merger with the Lombarda would be possible, the 2 minor companies. And they placed a token here. So why did they do that? I mean, there is a token of the Lombarda right here. But the idea is, if I want to try to run these 2 companies as separate companies as long as possible, because I hold these 40% shares, and if there will be a merger, they will be only 20% each. And so I will basically get less money from as a revenue. The idea is that if we work together now here, I have basically 4 companies that can, or 3 companies that all are acting in this area. Now, if I work together with the others, I might be able to make an upgrade like this, so that I can go through here if I upgrade this city, and then I can make a connection to Gotthard, which is worth $150, and I can make a massive run there. Therefore, I wanted to also be active in this area. And I can make a run of 170, 210, 240. I actually decided to place my token there. I realized I cannot well, let me think about that. The thing is, if someone places this tile right there, then this connection will no longer be possible, because there is only a single tile like this, and that's exactly what we would need here, because everywhere here are the mountains, and you cannot upgrade this tile because of this unique, well, maybe you can actually. No, you can't. You would need a city with 2 free spaces, and that doesn't exist. There are only cities with a single free edge, basically. So you cannot upgrade this tile, and that means, yeah, obviously it will not be available for replacement here. So therefore, either we get a connection like a curved connection like this, or a straight like this. We cannot get both. Now, this guy would prefer a curved connection, right? Because then the companies, all his companies, would have access to Gotthard. Yeah, fine. But the other guy could say, you know, why would I allow that? And the player here of the Novarese, he can simply place a straight connection here, and I think that's what we're going to see anyway. Therefore, I guess the Lombardi will do it, so they could use this now to their immediate advantage. The only problem is that, yeah, that's kind of interesting. So here's the thing. That's pretty dicky. Because the point is, the Lombardi, if they want to... Okay, here's the point. The Lombardi, their optimum run... no, it doesn't work that way. That's a shame. If they want to go to Gotthard, they cannot go to Torino. It would be really fantastic if you could take both. And that would be in everybody's interest. So maybe we can actually come to some agreement that we can build this area. But on the other hand, I mean, the one player would get so much more advantage than the other, so I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm not going to place a token right now here. I'm hoping that the other doesn't, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, I don't know if I was dreaming or what, but all these problems are not interesting at all, because this company and also the Veneta will run before the Novarese. So I can simply do it. He doesn't have the chance to place a straight here. So I can now upgrade with Lombarda. I can simply upgrade this to a city now. Of course, then my token remains there. It makes more sense then. And yeah, then one of the other two companies can simply hook this up, and we're perfectly fine here. We're going to see the next stock round, and that's not going to be a terribly long one. The only guy who really has money is him. He holds $400, and yeah, I mean, he can buy maybe a single share or so. So these guys, I mean, a few buy, yeah, okay, we will see a few people buying shares, but some have between 100 and 200, but nobody really has a lot of money. There's a lot of stuff in the bank pool, so I'm pretty sure we're not going to see a new company starting, and nobody is really interested in it, maybe except for this guy here, because he has a permanent train, and but all the others say, you know, we need our 4 trains. We're all not interested in starting another company, and obviously he doesn't have any money at all. So there could be now this stagnation going on. Where the new phase simply will not start. That is an interesting thought, actually. Who should do it, right? This guy doesn't want to do it. He runs 2 4 trains. He doesn't want to merge these guys. He has the priority here, and that's pretty awesome because he can buy another one of the Lombarde, which did a great run of 38, and with 2 certificates, he will get 228. And the Lombarde at the moment only costs him $57. So I mean that's a great deal. So if this thing pays out once, he nearly has back the money for his share. So he's not going to start a new company, that's for sure. He's not interested in bringing more trains out. This guy has no money. This guy has no money. This guy has no money, and he also doesn't want to start a new one because, yeah, this company is not in a good shape. If people buy shares of this company, then maybe it could be interesting. But who should do it? Himself? Yeah, he can buy 3 more shares. But why would anybody do that? Why would anybody give this company money? This guy, he definitely doesn't want a new company when there's only a 4 train here. And this guy, well, that's kind of an interesting situation here. I mean, at the moment, he doesn't have the money, okay. However, he could sell shares. He could sell shares, try to start a new company, and in this way, fuck up a few players really hard. At least these 2 guys. They would be in a ton of trouble then. And they are both definitely his competitors. He's not going for first place. This guy is already out of the game. Okay, here he is pretty much also his competitor. But these 2 are too. So I mean, okay, he's also pretty much gone. But if he fucks up these two people, it would help him quite a bit. The question is, I'm pretty sure at the moment, even if he sells the shares, I doubt that he can get $1,100 in his company. And that's what he would need. Yeah, I don't think that this will happen at the moment. Especially, he holds a share of the Lombardy, a share of the Veneta. These are super profitable shares. So is a share of it. These are really, he's got a very strong portfolio if you think about it. He's going to buy the presidency now of the Livornese, and then he has a really good portfolio. So he might even consider selling these two suckers, hoping to buy some better stuff. There are good shares in there. So yeah, I think. But on the other hand, there will be a connection here, and then the Latina will also make a lot of money. So in the end, it seems like he has a very, very strong portfolio sitting there. Probably the best right with this guy. And therefore, maybe he's not interested in selling shares. So we're going to see about that. So that is indeed an interesting situation now. Because if this guy says, hey, I'm not going to come in first, that's for sure. This guy is in a very good position. He will probably win this. But I might come in second. I have best chances to come in second. If the trains keep running like they do at the moment. So we might see a real stagnation in the game at that point, because the people who might have a little bit of money are not interested in starting companies because it's all going in their favor, and the other ones simply don't have the money. That's pretty strange situation at the moment. And yeah, we're going to see where this goes. It's really odd. So this guy over here bought himself the presidency of the Livornese. He simply didn't have any money to defend him, to defend the presidency, and therefore now the money goes there, and he has enough money to buy himself even a fourth share if he wants to. We see here an interesting thing. This guy is actually selling shares now of his own company. He sells 2 shares. The reason is it would give him then the money to buy some of these really valuable shares here. They make much more money than the shares of his own company do at the moment. And then in a later turn, he will then be able to buy new shares out of the company and in this way get new money into the company. And he needs that money if he wants to buy himself at some point a better train. And he has to. So therefore, if nobody else buys the shares, he will have to, right? And because at the moment this is not an attractive company, it kind of sucks for him. But there is now a perspective for him, because I'm pretty sure now that the brown tiles are available, he will be able to connect here to Milan. I'm pretty sure they cannot completely defend this position. If he goes here, the only way they can prevent him from entering into this city is by placing a brown city tile here, which has no track on this side, but then he can upgrade this and in the next turn make a connection from this side. And I mean, they could theoretically start themselves going like this, but this is going to be very hard. This is getting ridiculous at some point. basically trying to go over the whole map just to prevent him from getting to Milan. So I think there's a good chance he will be able to make the connection to Milan and then in a later turn to Marseille. And then he has a fairly good company running here. He has actually... Yeah, with his 4 train, he cannot even use... he cannot even make that run then. But, the shares might get more valuable at a certain point, at least. Okay, now this guy is in a similar situation as he is. He also says, why not selling a share of my own company? Oh, that was actually stupid because I just bought one. No, I'm not going to do that. I just bought that share up to the bank pool, so I don't think it makes a ton of sense to sell it back. Okay, so that means only this guy. Well, there are still a few people with money. This guy will also invest in the Livornese for 76 bucks. There we go. He has now money after he sold these shares. That gave him, I think, about 300 bucks or so. So that was pretty amazing. And this guy, well, he doesn't quite have the money. There is one more of the Livornese, so he might actually consider maybe selling this one, which is not as profitable, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. So he's going to sell that one. And for 111, and instead buy himself the last Livornese. So he holds now 50%, and this company will make a good run. So we're at the end of the stock round. There is still a little bit of money out there. This guy sits on 160. This guy has 200 something. That's a lot of money. But there's not so much out there. I mean, maybe this. This could be an option. There's not a lot of money in there. So yeah, maybe people will buy. Yeah, I think some people will buy this one. Nobody's buying to bring money into this company because nobody is interested that these guys are buying a 7 train. Therefore, but this company is not dangerous at the moment. There's a 4 train, it makes a little bit of money. So yeah, why not? I think we can invest a little bit of money in this company. That would be okay, I guess. Okay, so now it's actually really the end of a stock round. Let's see. This is sold out, so it goes up. There are shares in the bank pool, so it goes down. This is sold out. This one isn't. This one is. And these two also are. Okay. And I'm going to do one more operating round, I guess, before I load this up. Okay. The Genovese goes first. They placed this connection here. And now they're going to place a dot there, which sucks heavily for him. He kind of blocks in this way the Novara a little bit. No, that's not true. The Lombardy, actually. But when these guys merge, they will keep this dot. So I think as a long-term strategy, this is okay. It will hurt him a little bit at the moment, but if someone else, if this guy, for example, should place a dot there, and he also has one left, then he's in trouble. Because, as I said, we cannot upgrade this thing anymore. So there is no other connection like this possible here. That means if the other guy places a dot here, the Genovese would not be able to run to the Gotthard, and that is just an amazing route that he definitely wants to take. He's probably going to need a 6 train to do the perfect run. Let's call it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, he's going to need an 8 train. But to go from Marseille via Torino, Milano to Gotthard, that is just a great run. If he can do that, yeah, that would be obviously awesome. He can't do it at the moment, but he has 2 trains, and he can basically run 1 train like this, and then the other. Well, he is not in Marseille yet. He can only do it in the next turn, but I think that's okay. Okay, we see a 710 run of the Genovese with a 4 and a 5 train. The 5 train goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 4 train 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So that's just amazing. And there is still more possible if we connect to Marseille. So definitely awesome here. Maybe I'm not. Yeah, we can go like this with the 4 train then, and then with the 5 train we can go somehow like this. Okay, great. Okay, it's the Sabauda now, and they will now bust through the mountains here. They're going to pay $100. They think it's worth it because, gosh, we're going to need this here. Okay, we're going to need this pass. Okay. Now we have a connection. Oops. And now we can place a token, and I will do that. I'm going to place a token in Firenze, which is pretty great because with my 4 train, I can now run from the Adriatic coast to Rome. 1, 2, the pass will cost me 1, 3, 4. And that's going to be a great run because this is going to be 150, 200, $400. That's $400 with a 4 train. That is pretty awesome. The only question for me is, at that point, do I want to swallow or do I want to pay out? If I swallow twice, well, but on the other hand, you know, if you think about that, there are still 40% in the company, 50% are in the company. Holy shit. I think I'm going to pay out. Green guy, the Latina, did upgrade this track here so that it can go from Pisa down here and then place a dot here. It's still a shame they have a 5 train, but they cannot completely run it. I mean, they could go from here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's not as good as starting in Firenze 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes them more money. So yeah, I mean, if they would upgrade, I don't know. Yeah, it sucks. That's a shame. Maybe they might consider going to Genova at one point, but they gotta bust through the mountains here. Then it would be worth it. They would place a dot there. They could make more money possibly, but not even much more. Oh yes, they could because of the port here. We'll see about these things. So it's now the Livornese, and well, let me think about that. I might maybe upgrade this one. Relax. I can't. That doesn't work. What about this one? Yeah, that should be possible. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna take this. And then I think I want to place a dot here. I got so many of them, there is no reason to hold back. Maybe I can make, well, probably I won't make anybody nervous, but I want to make that run here, and I don't want that the other guys place their dots there. So yeah, and I still have 2 remaining, so whatever. There's no money in there, so I cannot help him to go to Genova. That would be pretty awesome, but I would have to swallow, and I don't think I want to do that. So I can make a good run here. I can go from the Adriatic coast, 1, 2, Firenze, Lucca, Pisa, and then to Roma. That's going to be a good run. Let's see, we got 150, 200, 250, 280, 480. That is a very good run. Okay, this guy upgraded this one. I'm actually considering a house rule here that if you can use a 6, one of these, you know, where one of these 6-side tracks as a brown tile, you have to use it so that there are enough brown tiles left to upgrade the mountain areas. I don't know. I mean, you can do a few dicky moves this way, right? By purposely using, for example, this guy could have used one of the others so that maybe another guy cannot upgrade a mountain area. But I don't know if the designer has intended that. I know in 1822 there is actually a rule which forbids you to use these kind of tiles if you can use others. That seems in a way reasonable, so I might consider that. And that would actually help this guy tremendously. So will I allow it? I think so. It just makes more sense, and yeah, I think I will do that. Otherwise things become very destructive. Okay, so yeah, this guy can now make a nice run here, a 4 run with a 4 train, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will give him a lot of money. Okay, the Novarese, well, the player has no money in the treasury, and that kind of sucks, you know, because there are some passes he could upgrade that would help him out. He has a 6 train, and compared to some amount of money that the others make, he just doesn't make it that much, simply because he has no off-board area to go at the moment. Okay, you can take Turin, Milan, that's a good run. But with a 6 train, it's only, I think he was at 360. And no, that's not true. It was 390. And some others make, I mean, this guy makes, his other company makes more money with a 4 train. So, yeah, that really sucks. The idea is now, and that's kind of funny because he is technically connected with this one, although his starting value is over here, his starting place is here, but there is a connection up to here. So his idea is, if he can make a connection here, he might be able to transfer money from the companies by exchanging dots, right? And in this way, maybe at some point he then can get some money in that company. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, he could also upgrade spaces like this, but on the long run, maybe it's not a bad idea to do it. So that was the end of the first operating round, and it's also time to load it up. We're going to see at the end of this cycle of operating rounds a ton of money with the players, so we can be sure that the 7 trains will come out in the next cycle of operating rounds, obviously. This time it's not going to happen. They are making a lot of money from their shares. And of course, this player is completely dominating the game. These two are also doing quite well. We're going to see how the others can handle the situation. He is more or less out of the game. Okay, hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.